Well, hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Mansa, and in today's video, I will be showing you how I make this delicious, bomb texture, $1,000,000 pound cake with a salted caramel drizzle and butter toasted pecans. You heard me right. Okay, so you ready for the $1,000,000 pound cake? Let's get going. Here I have 3 sticks of butter. I use salted butter, by the way, and it's already at room temperature, so it's nice and soft. I'm starting to cream that in my stand mixer, and I'm gonna add here 8 ounces of cream cheese, also at room temperature. It's nice and softened. So once I cream the butter, I'll add it in there and cream everything together. And do not forget to scrape down your beaters and also the sides of your mixing bowl. All right, so once the butter and cream are nicely incorporated, I'm going to be adding some sugar to it. Here I have 2½ cups of granulated white sugar. Typically, you would use 3 cups, but that's just overly sweet for me. You can even go ahead and add 2 cups if you want to cut down more on that sugar, okay? So I have 2½ cups of granulated white sugar, and go ahead and cream that up for at least 3 to 5 minutes, and it will be nice and fluffy. And then I'll be adding my eggs one at a time, beating it on medium speed. So I add 1 egg and I let it incorporate, then I add the next one. Thus, I just repeat the whole process until I'm done with all the eggs, and this was the last egg. And once I get all of that, and at this point, you do not want to be over mixing. To our flavors, I'm going to be adding vanilla extract, 1 teaspoon, 1 teaspoon of lemon extract, and also some almond extract, 1 teaspoon. I actually doubled the vanilla. I used 2 teaspoons of vanilla and 1 each of the others. All the ingredients I use today will be listed in the description box below. So go ahead and click on it, and you'll be able to access the recipe. So here is my flour. I have 3 cups of all-purpose flour already sifted. To that, I'm going to be adding 1 teaspoon of baking powder. This is when you would add some salt if you're using unsalted butter. But remember, I am using salted butter, so I do not need any more salt. To my liquids, this is 1 cup of heavy whipping cream. If you do not have heavy whipping cream, just go ahead and use whole milk, and that would work just fine. Now, as you can see, I am alternating between my liquids and my dry ingredients. So I would put in 1/3 of the flour, incorporate that slowly, and then add 1/3 of the liquid, incorporate that, and I just alternate between the two until everything is all in. Don't forget to scrape down your bowl and the beaters, because you will always have pockets of flour in there. So once I get all of that in, I am going in with my baking pan and my pan baking spray, which already contains flour, and my pan is nonstick, so it always comes out nice and clean and whole, nothing like that. But if you do not have a nonstick pan, or you just don't trust it like that, go ahead and butter it up, and then dust it with flour all through, and just make sure that you shake off the excess dust so that your cake does not come out looking what? Ashy. We do not want no ashy cake. All right. So at this point, my oven is already preheated to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. I always like to drop down the temperature a little bit because pound cakes are so big and they take longer to cook. So dump it all that good batter into your prepared pan, and then you know how we do it. Shake it, pop it, drop it, level it up as much as possible, and into an oven it goes. 325 degrees Fahrenheit. And today I will be baking this for 80 to 85 minutes. I always start off at 80 minutes, which is an hour and 20 minutes. And here it is about 80 minutes. It is nice and done. And can you see the beautiful golden brown color? It is just that perfect texture. So just put it aside. And in the meantime, we will go ahead and make a caramel sauce. So delicious. Now, you know, when I whip out my cast iron, I'm in business, baby. So to that, I am adding 3/4 cup of butter, salted butter, which is an equivalent of 1.5 sticks of butter. And once that's nice and melted, I will go ahead and add 2 cups of granulated white sugar. Y'all, this sauce right here, this caramel sauce, it was so delicious. If there's anything you're gonna do not miss out on this caramel sauce. You would so love it. And the good thing is that it could go on any type of pound cake, really, in my opinion. So yeah, I'm just gonna head and mixing everything up and just cooking it and allowing the butter and the sugar to melt together. Make sure that you're doing this on low heat so that you do not burn it. We're trying to achieve a nice caramel color. So as you can see, I am going in with my whisk now because it's easier to do it. And then it is now time to add our liquid. So over here, I have 1.5 cups of evaporated milk. Yeah, the whole milk. That's what I have over here. So make sure that you turn down your fire at this point or even turn it off so that you can easily stir the milk in without having it form lumps. But if it does, a good trick, just take it off the fire and just continue whisking it and it will all dissolve nicely. So yeah, I am adding in all of my milk in there and just continue to stir. Do not stop stirring because you're just going to form really, really hard caramel drops and you do not want that. So yeah, now it has come to a boil again and I just keep stirring it. And as it cooks further, it gets thicker and thicker. And just be careful because once this gets off the fire and cools down, it's going to get even more thicker. So yeah, I went ahead and cooked this for an additional 5 to 8 minutes in total. And then this is what it looks like. As you can see, it has gotten a lot thicker. The consistency compared to when we just started, it has thickened up, and now it is time to add that good old salt. You know, this was just about half a teaspoon of salt, or maybe even 1/4 of a teaspoon. So just add a little bit and taste it because I already used salted butter. That's why I did not add a whole lot of salt. Now I have cut off the fire already, and to that I am going to be adding some vanilla. You want a healthy splash, about 1.5 teaspoons or maybe just 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And yep, turn it off and it's ready to go. Now all I have to do is just transfer it into a nice glass bowl or just a container to allow it to cool down before we add it to the cake. The cake is also cooling down, by the way. So yeah, this is my caramel sauce. Really, really delicious. Now in the meantime, I had to take it up a notch. So now I'm gonna pop in this is half a cup of the pecans. I added just a little bit of unsalted butter and popped it into my air fryer oven, but I used the oven settings for just 4 minutes on high temperature. So this was about 4 minutes for at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. And as soon as you can perceive the nutty smell, just turn it off. You're good to go. Set it aside. So moving on, here is my pound cake, y'all. It is nice and soft. That crust right there is to die for. Now here is my caramel. It has cooled down quite a bit. It is still warm to the touch, but it is not hot at all. It is not hot at all. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and just drizzle that all over the cake. Y'all know this is so satisfying. I always laugh and just want more of this whenever I'm editing the video because I film these in advance, and whenever I get to editing, of course the cake is not in my house, and I'll be like, oh damn, I wish I had some of that. But yeah, pour that drizzle, that glaze all over the cake. I just like the shine that it has to it, and all of that is because of the butter that we are using. I did not even get to use all of the glaze. It was a whole lot of glaze, but the good thing is that you can save it for later. So yeah, I let it harden up for a little bit, and this is about 5 minutes later. I went in and topped it off with the toasted pecans right there. It smells so good, and I let it sit again for another 15 minutes or so. This was our finished product, and y'all, I can't get off this camera. I just can't let this video end without showing you what we're working with on the inside, because what? Videos don't lie, baby. And I need you to see the crust, not just the crust, but also the crumb that this pound cake makes. Now, this is why I like to use that heavy whipping cream. The texture that it gives is different. I only get it with the heavy whipping cream. So my choice of ingredients depends on what I really want to achieve. So look at that. It is a bomb texture. It is so delicious. That day, I also had workers in my house and I had to share all the cake with them, and I got really good reviews. Thank you guys so much for watching. Share this video with your friends and family, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.